When someone mentions Scarborough, I think of my childhood and lovely times with my family and the beautiful countryside around Scarborough.
It's a beautiful seaside resort. It's not without its flaws. It's definitely missing a lot, but it's also got a lot that it can do.
Scarborough makes me think of beautiful scenery, the cliffs, the bays, the sea and the wildlife, such as porpoise and dolphins off the Marine Drive.
Scarborough makes me think of family holidays, fish and chips, sunshine and the beach.
I worry about it really because Scarborough's not the place it used to be, and normally when people are talking about Scarborough they're taking the mick out of it.
We've lost a lot. Scarborough's definitely lost a lot if it's not small businesses and shops or it's some of the culture of our seaside. There's definitely been things that Scarborough used to have that we don't have anymore.
Well, let's say my commute into Scarborough on a morning is beautiful. We drive around the seafront, you've got the sunshine on the castle. It's a stunning place to live and work.
It's a good town. It's a good town. It's a good place to live. We're out on a limb, 50 miles away from any kind of serious cities. York, Middlesbrough, one rail line in, 3 main roads in. So it keeps the riffraff out. And I guess to a certain degree, it keeps a certain undesirable element of people in as well.
I would say that it's a beautiful jewel set in a beautiful setting of the North Yorkshire moors.
I think there's some attractions that we've lost over the years as well, but then some that we've gained, so it's like giving with one hand, taking with the other sort of thing, really.
I would describe Scarborough to someone that hadn't been here as being a beautiful lady that's been round the block a few times and taken a few beatings, but is still there strutting her stuff and trying her hardest.
There's times when it does feel as though it is stuck in the past.
Over the years, I've seen a decline really, more empty shop units, more begging on the streets and it looking a little bit untidy.
There isn't a lot going on like there used to be. Lots of guest houses. It is a pretty place, but could do with more going on.
If you visited Scarborough 25 years ago, there was a lot more pubs and bars open and a younger scene and a lot more younger people here. And I think now it's more focused on the arts and crafts of Scarborough and what we have to offer as a community, not just for younger people.
Because when I first moved here, there used to be loads of things for the children to go to, like Kinderland and little places like that, but that's all gone now.
It used to be a location where people would come to holiday in Scarborough for a week or maybe even 2 weeks. Now it's a destination for day trips.
I think we suffer. I think Yorkshire suffers in general. The North suffers, and as a result, Scarborough being in Yorkshire and the North suffers as a result of lack of investment from Westminster.
I've seen a lot of structural changes. There's been some losses and some gains, so the demolition of the Futurist was quite a sad loss for the town, I felt. But then there's been implementations like the Alpamar complex to encourage the tourism.
There could be so much done with the town and it just doesn't seem to be getting done. I mean, Whitby has their Goth Festival and why doesn't Scarborough have something like that instead, like an Elegance Day or something like that there?
It'd be great to get some sort of regional assembly to try and, get more of that money and be self-directed rather than having to beg for handouts from our southern overlords.
And I think we need to invest in Scarborough itself, the people of Scarborough who are already here, and those deprived areas, rather than bringing people from outside. We need to invest in the people that are here.
The thing that upsets me mostly is the rubbish, and I think all the plastics that I see when I'm out walking. Get a group together and we go and pick all the plastic up, and all the rubber bands dropped by the postman.
A lot of the time I don't feel listened to for silly things like rubbish and getting some lights on the street where I am.
I can't even think of a time that anyone's listened to me and that kind of feels awful, really. Only my son listens to me because he has to, because that's the law, because I'm his mum. Or customers when I say don't bleach your hair. But I can't, with anyone in authority or anything like that, I can't think of ever being listened to before. You mention things to people in authority, but they just tend to ignore you, and that just makes you feel really bad.
I think local politics, I tend to feel as though they're just paying lip service. They're not actually listening. It's not active listening. In general, that kind of frustrates me. A lot of people don't feel as though they're listened to.
I don't feel like we're listened to at all, unfortunately. We work in a deprived area. We work with lots of disengaged young people. We've got lots of experience, and I feel that experience isn't listened to.
I feel often that I'm probably not outspoken because, or you feel what you do say can fall on deaf ears a lot of the time. So it's a little bit like, it seems a bit fruitless, really, all the suggesting things and etc.
I feel that a lot of the local businesses, smaller businesses, we talk to each other, we share ideas, and we often implement those ideas with talking.
When I was younger, I used to run a youth group, and I ran the group once a week on a Friday, and the idea was to keep the young people off the streets. And I did feel really listened to because the community around me supported what we were doing.
Having that person behind there supporting you with, helping you move along, it made a massive difference for me. That's partially just through being listened to.
One particular time that I felt listened to, it made me feel valid, contributory, and associated with people, and it reminded me so much of things that I'd forgotten to appreciate.
Scarborough is my home. I've lived here a long time, and I don't want to be ignored. I want to be supported.